Hey guys, it's Friday. Week's getting away from us here. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. Finally doing something besides wiring. Yay! I'm pretty relieved. At the same time, this is something I ain't done in a while. Haven't done the panel work in probably a little over 2 years now. So getting back into it, I've got one done. Luckily it fits both sides, so I'll be able to use that for a template. But I'll lay this down and mark it out on the aluminum. May do a big time lapse. It's a pretty slow process. You gotta rough cut it, and then you gotta come back through and buff it and everything. And like I said, it's not gonna be perfect. And when it's all done, I will like buff a texture in all of it and then clear coat over it. I did that on the Sammy Mog, and it's held up good. So I buff a texture. I just take a flap wheel and do like an oscillating pattern all the way down it, kind of rough it up, probably like some 120 grit. And when I do that, that way it hides like little scratches and stuff. It doesn't really hide them. They just don't show up as much. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I don't think it looks bad. Once I get it all mounted in, bolted down, the bolt head's coming up through it, I think it'll look pretty good. If I do a center bolt, 2 right here around this brace, and I'll do 1 back in this corner and 1 out here, something like that. So they'll have like 5 bolts holding it in. And anyway, we'll see how that goes. I bought a bunch of 1/4-inch hardware. It just goes faster, putting in the inserts and whatnot. So I've got some 1 by 8, I think, steel strap I bought. And I'll probably take and cut all my little brackets out of that and tack them in and weld that up. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna cut the next piece, and you can see it's where I started cutting. Anyway, I will lay this one up in there and get it traced out, and I'll film a time lapse and we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be pretty long process overall, and you know, it's probably pretty boring to watch. But anyway, we'll see how the time lapse goes, and maybe it'll be worth it. Maybe it won't make the cut. We'll find out. Here we go, guys. I'm cutting this in using the straight edge. Gotta buy a straight edge every couple panels. I end up cutting into them a little bit, but that is what it is. Can't really help it. Buffing, cleaning up the edge. You gotta be careful. It starts to resonate on you. You gotta hold your hand on the back side to keep it steady. I do have gloves on. Look at that. All right, guys. Here's the first one we cut. So, man, I'm pretty happy with how that contours comes in there. That corner could have been a little more round, but I'll tell you what, we'll be all right. Like I said, we got a couple months till it goes to Meekums, so we'll get it tweaked. Anyway, this is the one we just cut the time lapse. So, there we go. Comes up into the point. And ignore that. And here we go, wraps around. So, that is what it's going to look like. I'll make some panels for these back here, cover up the door latch. The tailgate won't open anyway, so I'll make some panels for that and keep working. But I'm probably going to focus on getting these big panels done first. So the next 2 I'll do will be these wrap ends under the hood here. It's going to be a little bit more interesting. I'm not going to get inside the hood line. I'm going to use this rub rail as my guide. That'll be the end of it, but it is going to go across the front. So it'll be like a hockey stick looking piece that's going to run all the way across there. So anyway, that'll be the next piece I cut. All right, guys, I know it's probably hard to see. It's reflective aluminum under light. But I'll show you my template here. I did a little CAD work. So this is going to be the fender. And I'm cutting it out of this side of the metal because, as you can see by my template, if I do that, I can minimize my loss. So I'll be able to cut the other one out inside of that, you know what I mean? So anyway, they're 36 inches almost, and we're only working with a 48 wide, so I want to get all the cuts I can get. So this is my cardboard template right here. Anyway, if you see here, I overdrew it just a little bit And I tightened up that notch. And of course that corner will be there. But as you look here, contours in, covers everything. I think this is how we're going to mount it. So I was debating on if I was going to tuck under the hood at all. And yeah, I think I am. I think that's going to make for a nice clean look. And then let's shut this. It's going to embarrass me a hit doing it from the wrong side. But anyway, I think you get the picture there. That aluminum will run all the way under, and I got something to mount my my rubber hood stops to. And then the hood actually latches back here, so I will have to clearance this out a little bit. Yeah, I will have to notch that in. Not a big deal. I may go ahead and make that adjustment before I cut. But the template does fit both sides. So I'm going to be able to make the next two panels pretty quick. It's going to take a little bit of time to shape these. I have to clearance a few things that I didn't have to on the other one. But that's part of the game. So we'll get it. But anyway, I'll spare you all the rest of the grinding and buffing. This panel is a little bit more difficult. This is probably going to be the most difficult panel. Once I get this one done, if it fits the other side, I'll be able to template off of it. But there's one drawback to using CAD. It's hard to, you can manipulate cardboard in ways you can't do aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and do the underlay under the hood here. So I'm just going to clean this edge up, probably leave this edge overhanging. Here, I will clean this back a little bit. And I will have the tube exposed around here. And then I'll have to round this corner out. This fits really nice across here. There's stuff under my metal. It will lay down. I'll have to contour this a little bit. And then clean that edge up. But for roughing it out with cardboard, cutting it with a plasma cutter, and a little bit of notching and shaping, I don't think it looks too bad. And I think if we shut this hood, do it without smashing my finger. I got a friggin' dent in the hood I got to take out. See that right there? That keeps hitting. But I think once that's all cleaned up, and the hood closes down over it, and we're going to have that continuous line down through there, I think it's really going to start to come together. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Thanks. Hey guys, this is that passenger side panel all massaged in. Man, it fits nice. I'll show you here in just a second. But I know I said earlier, the first one I had to cut that out of cardboard and then modify. It's not a quick process, I'll be honest with you. But it is a decent process. So, what I'm getting at is, you look at these guys that do big body work and whatnot. I'm not a body guy. Like, I do not like working with thin metal. This is like the thinnest stuff I like to mess with. But, if you look at those guys, at some point, they were learning too. And if they'd have thrown in the towel and said, we're just going to wait till we get good at it, they'd have never got there. So, I guess my message is, don't be scared to try, man. This sheet of aluminum, I mean, metal's up right now. I bought it right before Christmas. I think I paid like $240 for an 4x8 sheet. It's a little bit of money, but like literally, guys, that is all the scrap I have so far. I do have this piece here. I haven't ruled out that it might not get used. And this piece will definitely get used. This might be scrapped. But anyway, what I'm getting at is I've made my 4 biggest panels. And I don't have much waste. I'm just saying, like, just be smart about it. Take your time. You can do it. And anyway, I'm getting ready to burn this in. Or not burn this in. Cut this out. Sorry. Wrong definition there. But you can see I left the rough edge exposed past the smooth edge. So I have enough room to buff. And I use the clamps to hold it up there. Minimize my waste. Bent the panel a little bit. It'll be alright. But look there. That's where I got to cut. And I exposed the cut. I'll have to modify that a bit. Anyway, that sucks. I'll get it taken care of. But let's look at what this looks like here, guys. Give me just a second. Alright. So there we go. Remember, the headlight's just loose. But look at that contour. I mean, we did pretty good on this one. This will get bumped back in just a hair. Let me see. Anyway, we got the rub rail exposed just as we wanted. But I gotta be honest, I don't think it's a bad look. So we're gonna keep working on it, and we'll see where we get. Thank y'all. Hey guys, it's Friday night. Actually, it's, I guess technically Saturday morning. It's like 12:15. Anyway, kind of got in the groove, kept working. I just want to show y'all a few things. We're going to close out the night. But what's really cool, I've cut the 4 biggest pieces of panel I got to cut. And I've used very little of my metal. I've got a lot left. I'm going to have plenty left over when this is all done. But look at this. What's on the floor here? That's all of my scrap. Now, yeah, I do have this piece, which I guarantee you I'm going to use. And I have this piece, which I'm not sure I'm going to use. But for cutting the 4 largest panels I have to cut, I really don't think I did bad on conserving the resources. If we're going to go full on, yeah, conserving my resources. Anyway, I'm not wasting money. That's what my accountant wants to hear. And she came down to visit me tonight. Her and my wife and my son, both. And so they got to see what I was working on. It's always good when they come to visit. I kind of live down here when it's work season. And we're in the middle of a big work season. So I don't get to see them as much as I need to. But anyway, I got stuff to build. And, you know, we got like 3 hours of daylight a day now. Winter in northern Pennsylvania. So anyway, this is my work area, but this is what I want to show y'all. You know what, guys? I can't do this justice doing the FaceTime cam. So if you could just bear with me. I know you enjoy looking at my face and my beautiful beard, but I'm gonna have to stop this video. I'll start another one with the camera flipped around, because what I'm about to show you, man, I can't compete. Talk to you in a minute. Would you just look at it? I mean, look at it. Look at that, man. I got the grill mounted. I got the top plates mounted. I mean, look at those lines. And it just carries on back. I know I still have to fill the uprights. Yeah, I get it. Okay, we're not done. I'm not saying we're done. But, I mean, if anybody watching this video remembers what this rig looked like 6 weeks ago, we've come a long ways. So, anyway, look at that, man. Both sides looking good. Like I said, we got more work to do. Not saying we're done. But, you know, when you fight a project, and you fight a project, and you fight a project, and you've got a vision in your head of what it's going to look like when it's done. Now, I didn't know the headlights were going to look this goofy, but I've kind of taken to it. I'm good with it now. They're not mounted, they're just zip tied. We still have to figure that out. But we're getting so close. And what's really cool is I bought this thing pretty beat up. I needed a lot of work. Most of what it needed was just general plumbing and electrical, right? Like a general contractor could have taken care of what really needed to be done. But my whole thing was I tried to flip it, you know? And the deeper I dug, the more I realized I can't flip it. I don't want my name associated with the work that's going on here, so I wanted it cleaned up. And I gotta tell you, we're getting really close to where I'd be okay with my name being associated with it. I still want to change the wheels and tires out. I got to do a few things. The wheel spacers are coming. Please, guys, when you look at these videos, do not think the rear fenders are too big. The rear wheels are inset. They're going to come out to match the front. Believe it or not, that's part of overthinking stuff as you plan ahead. So that's kind of what I've done here. I'll probably never sell it. I'm not a guy that sells things. Eventually, Redbeard's Overthunk Junk may become a legitimate shop. I've got a few builds to go before we get to that point. And that's going to be a sad day, man. If it ever happens, if this ever becomes really what I do, I'm going to have to actually sell something. I poured my my sweat and blood and all my skills. You know what I mean? Like, I really worked on something and I'm going to have to part with it. So far, I'm fortunate, though. I just build the crap and keep it. So that's where we're at right now. But, guys, I appreciate your support. Appreciate you sticking with me. I know you're tired of seeing the stuff about the wiring and whatnot. But trust me, guys, the trails are coming. We're going to get out. We're going to have some fun. It's going to get better from here. I promise you. Anyway, y'all enjoy your weekend. I'm going to hit the sack, and tomorrow we're going to finish up these panels. Who knows? Maybe I'll get all the brackets welded in, and then my wife can start painting what needs to be painted. That'd be really sweet to have all the body work done by next weekend, have the dash finished by next weekend, and maybe we even get it to the muffler shop. Time will tell. Anyway, y'all have a great evening. I plan on it. We'll talk to you later.